For our third cup, we'll make another cylinder. This one will come in a little bit in the middle, giving it a waist shape, whereas our first cup had more of a belly. This one is going to taper inward in the middle, and it's going to have 3 feet on it, a tripod foot, which will create some negative space at the bottom and give it a little bit of lift. Right here, I built it the same way I did my second cup by making a cylinder, and I just have kind of a rough cylinder now, and I'm going to start shaping it, bringing it in on the top, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of a foot, kind of like a little skirt shape on the bottom. I want those feet to stiffen up a bit, so maybe I'll just set some clay aside. It's sitting outside of the bag, so I have a chunk of clay right here. It's been sitting out for a while. I'll leave it to continue to sit out so it's stiff enough to hold the weight when I get to putting those feet on there. And this one, it's going to need to be about as wide as it is tall. And right now, I want the shape to come in more on the top and out more on the bottom. So just to kind of compare what we're going for. All right, I got the walls kind of thin, which I like. And I can sort of collar it a little bit here. But before I go too far in, I'm gonna get down here at the bottom and see, I'll push that out, rotate, push that out, rotate. See how it kind of bulges when I do that? And I don't want to spend too much time, put too much pressure in one spot. Here it's really kind of convex. I'm going to make it concave. Okay. Get my rib. And let's see. Yeah, I want it to, that's kind of the shape that I want it to be. It's going to be out more on the bottom and then in more at the top. So if I use my rib, it doesn't all happen at once. Whatever I do to one area, I want to continue it on the other area. Yeah, that's working a little better. Push that up. That's also good just to bring a little clay to the top. And you know what? If I just flatten it a little bit here, that'll get the bottom wider as well. So in this case, maybe I do want to add a coil on the inside to bring it in more. Put it on there, and this time it's going to go a little bit more on the inside because I want it to come in. Get it about where I want it. Cut it. Always good to cut less, a little less than maybe you think you need, because you can always cut again. Maybe that's a little bit more on the top than I want because it's gonna come in. See that? It's more on the inside now. That'll help me bring it in. Okay, take it off, score it. Score more than you think you need. More scoring is better. You can always smooth it out, and it really helps to attach everything. Oh yeah, see, look, I could get some more scoring on the outside of my coil because that will attach to the inside of the cup right there. Line it up right where it needs to go, and then smish it together. Compress the inside, just lifting it up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Make sure those stay together. always kind of rotating as I work. Here I'll kind of pinch it in just a little bit. And it's kind of dropping a little bit right here. And you'll just bring that side up just a little bit. Because remember, I want that angle going down there. One nice thing to do is use your knuckle in there and push, knuckle and push. But be careful not to bring it out too much here. Then I can do a little more shaping with the rib. Make sure it's still going in here. Shaping with the rib. Rotating it, rotating. See now, see how the rib is fitting nicely in there? I actually want it to go in a little bit more like that. I feel like you got a little bit of a bulge coming out there. So I'll kind of push that back in just a little bit. Could spend a little time with the metal rib, and then I'll need to clean it up again. So that's pretty good for now. I'll put it to the side for about an hour, and then we'll come back to it. Returning to cup number 3. So I want to bring it in a little bit more on the top, make it more symmetrical, and then I'll add my feet and also get a little bit more of that skirt shape happening right there. Working those sides, bringing it in. And yeah, I want it to come in just a little bit more like that. This one got a little drier than the other ones. It's good that it's holding its shape, but the outside is a little bit tougher, so I'm kind of roughing it up. And the bottom, want to make sure that that is symmetrical. And the smaller rib will help me focus on the bottom. Could use the bigger one, but it's just not as focused. You know, maybe you like some of that texture that's happening on there. As long as there's nothing too sharp and pokey on there, you could even leave some of it. And then down here it kind of drops down too much. So I can start working it with this tool, the wooden knife, wooden modeling tool. Now maybe I get the metal rib and I can work that, smooth it out, some smoothing and shaping. Bring it in a little bit more on the top. Although If I bring it in too much, it'll be hard to clean. It'll be hard to get my hand in there and clean it once it's fired, because it is going to shrink somewhere around 12%, maybe more. I can check the top. See, yeah, that's a good level to cut it at. Clean up that top edge, pinch it up, make it look thin and more delicate. Maybe have it flare out just a little bit. Getting there. Maybe I'll make this edge make this skirt a little more dramatic. And I want that to transition into those little feet that I'm going to make. Clean that up with my thumb here. And then I'm about ready to do my feet. So I've got 3 balls that are about the same size, and those are going to become my feet. 3 points of contact with a surface is a really good way to balance just in general. And then you'll mark approximately thirds on the bottom of your cup. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. We'll score that. Score my ball. Remember, really moisten, reactivate wet paper towel if you need to. You know, if these were neater, you know, just some balls might be kind of fun. Could be fun. But I want them to kind of transition into this here. And I'm going to make them sort of a little bit of a wedge shape. Shaping them all kind of at the same time, making sure that there's no seam around them. That's pretty good. Still a little soft, so I don't want to squish them too much. Now I can leave it to stiffen up like this for maybe 20 minutes so that these feet don't squish, and then we'll come back to it. Now that it's been sitting for a while, the bottom's a bit stiffer, and I can clean it up. a little more with my small trimming tool. Check how it sits. Leaning this way a little bit, so I think this needs to come down. You want the bottom to look resolved as the rest of the cup. It should look pretty finished. Still leans a little bit. Squish it down just a little bit. That's probably good. Could spend a little time thinning it out a little bit with this. I could thin it out a little bit here with that tool. And then clean it up a bit more. Smooth it out on the inside. Get my sponge. And that's about done. Sign it with a dull pencil and number it so that when you glaze it, you know where it is in your glaze journal. It's got a nice bit of shadow underneath it.